Good morning, everyone. Very excited to be here with you today. My name is Nick Chuparov. I'm going to be with you for the whole day, examining these 4 topics and the convergence of the 4 topics. First, we're going to start with several presenters speaking about blockchain technology. And we're going to kick off with Ivan Vankov, who is principal architect at Cognition Foundry. They specialize in blockchain solutions for businesses. And Ivan has a background in cryptography, blockchain technology, machine learning, and a lot of back-end development, so quite a diverse background. And he will be introducing the blockchain topic, and he'll also be challenging some of the hype and some of the misinformation that's out there. So please, hand of applause for Ivan.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to be here. And as you already know, my name is Ivan Vankov, also known as Gataka. Not related to the movie in any way. And in the past couple of years, I'm working heavily in the blockchain. The company and my teams are specialized in blockchain for business. Because, see, there is a huge difference between crypto, all this hype, and the actual real blockchain that is used in the business. And also, I'm a consultant in many blockchain projects. In the past couple of years, I saw so many, let's say, unrealistic ideas, so many misunderstandings how blockchain is working, how blockchain solves problems. So, in the next couple of minutes, I will try to clarify some of these misunderstandings. So, let's start with the basic. I'm pretty sure that every one of you know what blockchain is, what mining is, what consensus algorithm is. I will not spend time on that, but the general idea behind Bitcoin, I mean, this is the beginning, was that the central banks will disappear, that the Bitcoin will be the central, unique, decentralized, out of control world currency, exchange platform, whatever. Really utopia. This will not happen. I mean, this is the reality, and this will not happen for many reasons. Actually, it will not happen for one simple reason. And this reason is not actually there is some conspiracy that the central banks will put billions and billions of dollars this not to happen. This is not the reason. Also, it's not the reason because of the speed of the transactions. Okay, the transaction rate is low, there are fees, but these are technical problems, and these technical problems can be fixed, and some of them are already fixed. There is one fundamental part that many people miss on the way how Bitcoin and all other cryptocurrency works, and it's quite simple. On every transaction, one small piece of the transaction is taken and put to the account to a particular miner. And as you know, there are many miners, huge miners. So what will happen? In the natural way, these miners will hold a huge amount of Bitcoin over time. You have a decentralized system, but the natural way how things happen lead to this consolidation of capital in a small group of people. And this is happening because you have limited amounts of Bitcoins that, I mean, they're predefined. You cannot have more than 21 millions. And also because the big miners combine efforts together. And so what will be the end result? The end result will be there will be not exactly a central bank, but an anonymous organization or a group of people that will hold so much capital in the cryptocurrency that they can do with the market whatever they want. So this is the reason why cryptocurrencies using mining algorithms like proof of work will not be the replacement of the real financial system. Because these people can lower the price or can pump up the price, the classical pump and dump scheme at any time. And if you are a person that actually holds all its investment, all its money, the money for his mortgage, for his food, for his child in cryptocurrency, and the next day you may have nothing. And the day after that you may be a millionaire. The next after that you again, can be poor. Similar as hyperinflation, and in Bulgaria, we actually, most of the people remember the hyperinflation in Bulgaria before, let's say 20 years, something like that. It was really ugly. So this will not happen. I'm not saying that cryptocurrency don't have their role. Oh, definitely they have their role and they will stay. But they definitely will not replace the traditional way how financial institutions work, how money are transferred, and how value is preserved. Because this is the important part. People and companies will put their money when they know that their value will be preserved or can be predicted. So, this is quite simple, but there is another problem with all this cryptocurrency right now. And this is the unofficial mining. You know what mining is? You just try to find a specific hash value using a lot of computational power, and the results actually that are, the invalid results are just discarded. You waste a ton of electricity for nothing. And probably you know that the total mining power of Bitcoin right now is consuming more electricity than the all countries in the Balkan, all the Balkan countries. So this is a huge amount of electrical power. This is bad, and green organizations are not happy with that, and at some point they will start addressing this issue. How this can be solved? It's quite simple. Why you don't create a mining process that is tied to a real world process? What I mean by that? Imagine that you are not just trying to crack share hash algorithms. Imagine that instead of doing this computation, you are doing real computation, protein folding, GSP signal analysis, medical research. You dedicate the same hardware not to mine useless hashes, but actually to create some real product, some real value, a new medicine, a new drug, a new signal, the process images of astronomy. There is a huge demand on that. And see, this is the good point, because this is the good idea, because you tie the virtual world with the physical activity, there's something real. Also, you can go further. Imagine that you mine specific crypto coins when you are on the gym and you are doing your workout. There's an idea about that. So this will be something that is not. This is something that is not explored right now, but has a huge potential. And from the analysis that I have access to, it's showing that there is a real potential on that. To remove the proof of work and proof of stake, because they have 51% attack, they waste too much electricity. They actually don't give you a real decentralization. There are a lot of problems with them. And when you tie them to a real physical activity, actually people have incentive. They see the meaning of that. They see the result of that. And the motivation is completely different. This actually can change a little bit the market, because right now the cryptocurrency are just a speculative instrument. And yes, they will stay. Yes, they will grow. They will shrink. Some people will get rich, some people will lose money, but this is not so different from the current, let's say, financial operation using options or futures or something like that. That's the situation with the cryptocurrency right now. You will not be able to create completely decentralized system if you're using blockchains with proof of work or proof of stake. Another model has to be found. So, the next thing that is a big misunderstanding is the ICO. Okay, probably all of you know what ICO is. Some of you already may have plans to launch an ICO, but let me explain you the hard reality with the ICOs. The ICOs give you easy access to money. And most of the people that I spoke think that this is the hardest problem, to find the money about the idea. No. This is the easiest thing. To find money for a good idea right now is the easiest thing. See, the current way how things happening is you have an idea, you go to a venture capital, they validate the idea, they do their analysis, business analysis, technical analysis, whatever, and when the idea is good, they invest in you, and of course take some equity. And this is working quite well, actually. The success rate of this type of project is quite high for IT sector in general. But when you remove the VC and you go directly to the funding, you lose this expertise from the VC or accelerator to validate your idea, to give you a focus about your idea, to help you to go to the next level, because you definitely will need expertise that you don't have. Do you have marketing expertise? Do you have business development expertise? Do you have the proper connections to be introduced on the correct place? No. This is the purpose of the venture capital and accelerators. So the ICOs are failing, 90% of the ICOs are failing, and some of them are pure scam. But the reason why they are failing is because this validation step, that this idea is stupid, is removed. So if you're planning to do an ICO just for the money, get rich fast and disappear, it's your thing. If you're thinking that if you're taking a huge amount of money from the ICO and this will solve all your problems, no, you're wrong. You will have the money, you will not have the expertise to build your project. For that reason, you have to hire teams from different types actually to help you make your product successful. And you have to start thinking about that. This is a huge expense, and VC and accelerators, they give you this for free. Yes, of course, you give some equity to them, but they already have these teams. So if you want to build a successful product, probably you can make an ICO, take the initial fund, build some proof of concept or some simplified version, and then go to the accelerator. That will help you to focus your idea and to put you on the market to make a proper launch. So the next thing, because I'm a little off time, you have to understand that the cryptocurrencies are specialized version of blockchain. Yes, they have their place in the earth, they will stay, as I mentioned, but the real value of blockchain is blockchain for business. And the blockchain for business can be characterized quite simply. It's a blockchain that is controlled by a predefined set of organizations to facilitate the trust and the processes between them. You can do this with almost any blockchain. I mean, you can put Ethereum in private network, but the third generation blockchains like Fabric, a Hyperledger Fabric, they allow you to have smart contracts written on Golang or Node.js. You can use any type of data structures, algorithms, or external libraries. They allow you to change dynamically the consensus algorithm. They give you a full access and control over the entities and participants. They allow you to scale. For example, Hyperledger Fabric is supporting more than 210,000 transactions per minute. 210,000, and this is the base benchmark. We are able to reach 500,000 transactions per minute. Real business need that. I mean, real business really need that speed. You can store any type of data. You can use this type of data to create a business logic, to enforce business rules. This has to be separated from crypto. Crypto is crypto. Crypto is speculative instrument that serves particular purpose, but blockchain for business is something that is not connected to crypto in any way. And we already are building real projects, and we are seeing a huge improvement in efficiency. In one of our projects, we see 70% elimination of, not elimination, but lowering the expenses, 70%, 7-0, after 1 month after integration of a full blockchain solution in a particular use case. The business want that, because business don't trust each other, business don't have a ways and the tools to create a flow, a process between multiple parties in multiple countries with different infrastructure, with different knowledge, with different roles. So if you're planning to work on the blockchain world, blockchain for business is a huge market, because every single process where is a middleman, blockchain can remove the middleman. And this is huge. This is huge. And not only that, blockchain also can give you the data provenance to be sure that data is not altered. This can be applied e-government, in many other things. So yeah, I'm constantly talking about blockchain for business. If you're interested more, I'm here. Just come ask me. I can give you tips. But in general, to summarize, the first version of Bitcoin was the cryptocurrency. People start thinking about this. But then the second version, second generation appear, and the third generation is actually the blockchain for business. That is making a real benefit for the business and the society. Because if you create the business, when the business is more efficient, this is beneficial for all of us. And that's the main purpose of the technological development, to make our lives much more efficient, much more easy, much more sensible. So thank you, and have a nice day.
So thank you, Ivan. That's quite a good way to introduce the topic. We're going to have some microphones going around to take a couple of questions from the audience. And so just if you want to ask a question, just put your hand up. And where's the mic? Bojan, you have the mic?
There's another one.
Oh, there's another one back there. Okay. And I'm going to ask the first question. Because you started introducing some technical terms like hashing, SHA-256, ICO. I would ask that any future speaker, when you use terms like that, please just give a brief definition of what they are. And maybe you can do that for us for just what's hashing, what's SHA-256, and what exactly is an ICO?
Okay. So hashing is, generally speaking, the fingerprint of the information. Every information can create a digital fingerprint, and SHA-256 is just one of the algorithms. The idea is you can take a really huge amount of data and squeeze it to 256 bytes, and they are unique for this information. So this is used actually to validate that the data is not changed, the data is not altered in some way, because the same input will give always the same output. If somebody changed the input, the hash will be different, and you can compare them and say, okay, somebody's messed up with
So it's a way to process and summarize data into a standardized format.
Exactly. It's like a compression.
And ICO, what's an ICO?
Initial coin offering. So in general case, you have an idea. For example, you create, let's say, a banana coin or something like that. You have some idea. You introduce your idea and you introduce a coin. Most of these coins are based on Ethereum. And people actually start buying your coin. And you can take this money to fulfill the idea. The incentive of the users is, if you are successful as a business, the price of that coin that they bought on a really low price will go up, and actually they will have some profit from that. So this is ICO, initial coin offering.
I thought it was a really cool start to the day, but just to play devil's advocate a little bit, why I didn't quite get the connection of why doing something useful will be more sustainable than the current situation.
Because, okay, why? First, you have the problem of consolidation of mining power. There are two problems. First is you are wasting a lot of electrical power. This is unnecessary. I mean, terawatts and terawatts of electricity. If you put that actually to real work, the total computing power is equal to some of the most advanced supercomputers in the world. This can be harvested to be useful, not to waste the electricity. Second point, people will have incentive to do this task because they can see directly that their activity somehow help this whole network. And the third thing, if you allow the many people actually to, if you tie it to a real activity, you will slow down this consolidation of mining power. Let's take a simple example. The mining is done by putting wheels on a gym or something like that. Okay, how you can consolidate this mining power? Somebody will pay two guys to turn wheels for him. This will make no economical sense.
China.
No, even there. So if you tie it to a real activity, you make it more efficient. People have more incentive, and you lower drastically the consolidation of mining power. So these are good arguments from my point of view. Any other questions? Yes.
Can you mention some real examples where blockchain for business is implemented?
Yes. Yeah, I can give you a lot of them, without details, because So, for example, official projects, Everledger. It's one company that mark physical goods, for example, piece of art or bottle of wine or jewelry or diamonds, in such a way that when you try to sell it, this digital fingerprint can be verified in the blockchain, and you can see the provenance of the product, it's not fake, you can see the previous owners, you can enforce the numismatical value of that. So this is one case. Second case, supply chain. This is the huge thing. I mean, the fintech is full of that. I mean, the fintech completely is going on that. I mean, the whole, probably you're familiar that SWIFT, the backbone protocol of bank exchange, will die soon because 50 of the largest bank in the world decide to create their own blockchain, actually to create a clearing in real time without any taxes. Because most of the taxes that we will pay when we exchange money are going to SWIFT, not to the bank. So the banks just create their own blockchain, ditch SWIFT, have a clearing in real time, and international payment processes actually are now cheaper, and they will put the products and APIs for, let's say, other businesses actually to allow execution of micropayment, microdonation, microtransaction in the international border. And of course the bank will take a small fee. And the good thing is this is compliant with money laundering laws. So this is, in fintech, almost everything is a success story in fintech. But let's say supply chain, this is another place where it's really successful. Because imagine you have supply chains can be really huge, especially if you're working internationally. You have a producer in China, you have a company that is delivering in China, you have the customs in China, you have the, let's say, Maersk or some other shipping company that will move your goods over the sea, then you have the port in the country, let's say in Amsterdam, then you have the customs there, then you have the internal transportation, you have warehouses. It's complicated. And what will happen, imagine you are moving bananas from, let's say, from Congo to Amsterdam. And what will happen if bananas are spoiled when they arrive there? Who is responsible? The producer, the customs, the shipping company, the internal company? Who is responsible? Blockchain actually can give you this information even ahead, even before the shipment is arrived. You will know that there's something wrong with that. I will not go in details. If you're interested, we can talk how technically this is realized. The other huge thing is document flow. Imagine, okay, typical example, factoring companies. If you're not familiar what factoring companies are, imagine that you have some company that receive 100 or 1,000 invoices per day. And you have to, I mean, you have to work with them. Many companies actually don't want to build these teams, and so they delegate this work to factoring companies that they receive all the invoices, they do all the accounting necessary, and take hold of. Okay, so let's continue later on. Sorry.
So thank you, Van.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.